where U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin has reacted to Biden's move, as well as he's also said that Biden is an extraordinary guardian of America's national security. He stated that Biden has shown his profound and personal commitment to the Department of Defense and the American military and expressed his gratitude for the leadership and the statesmanship. So that's, of course, developments coming in at this point of time from the U.S. And in fact, to take this conversation forward, with us on the broadcast is Mr. Pathrakrit Paine. Sir, of course, Lloyd Austin, on behalf of the Defense Department, has thanked Joe Biden for his personal commitment to the American military. Now, in Milwaukee, Trump said that he would have perhaps approached the Russia, Ukraine and Israel-Hamas war differently. How do you then view Biden's leadership amidst these two major wars that are still in fact raging? And between Trump and perhaps Kamala Harris, who do you think would perhaps, sort of stand at the forefront and address what America wants to address?
See, first of all, if you ask me my personal opinion, it would be interesting to see how Kamala Harris fares up as a presidential candidate. But my personal understanding is this, that right now she is no match for Trump. Given Trump's communication capability, given Trump's ability to convert a crisis into an opportunity, given Trump's experience, given Trump's understanding, I think it would not be easy for Kamala Harris. The fact that the Democrats hung on to Biden in spite of knowing, the whole world knows for the last 2 years that he had some severe age-related problems, whatever those problems are. I mean, he never looked coherent. Secondly, when it comes to the policies of United States government under Biden administration, well, Lloyd Austin has very little option but to actually praise what Joe Biden has done, because he was made the defense secretary. But otherwise, when you have one conflict after another created in the Democrat era of Biden, which is very similar to the kind of conflicts that the world saw being created and continued during Biden administration, during Obama administration. So I don't know where the justification comes from. You have created a mess in the whole of Europe. The war in Ukraine, I mean, no one knows what's the end story, what's the end game of it. There is no conclusion of that. The war is simply spreading. The whole of Europe is in a mess, economic, political, social, geopolitical. The Chinese issue of issues in the South China Sea have not been sorted out. There is no conclusion about what happened with the COVID virus or or the investigation surrounding it. That has completely been sidelined. They would want, Biden administration wanted every country to either remain subservient to the American dictums or be termed as against them. I mean, it is clear the kind of stand they have taken against India on several issues. Even though India maintains an independent foreign policy, never posed a threat to the American interest. But if you see over the last few months, especially or probably a year, the way the West has behaved, because India did not, continued with what the Americans wanted us to do, whether it is about acceding to the sanctions terms against Russia, because if we had done it, we would have faced severe consequences in terms of huge inflationary issues. So I think it would be interesting to see how Kamala Harris comes up. But for Kamala Harris to come and justify the conflicts in Middle East or justify the conflict in Ukraine, and what role United States has played in terms of ensuring that the conflicts end, rather than putting more fuel to the fire, it would be interesting to see what her perception or perspective on this is, because I don't think she has a different view from what Biden had. And secondly, the issue of immigration has become a major bone of contention in the United States today. I mean, it's not about legal immigration. It's about illegal immigrants, undocumented aliens, what they call it, coming without any checks and balances. It has a devastating impact on any country's culture, civilization, ethos and way of life. So I think it would ultimately be the people of the United States who would decide as to whether Kamala Harris is a better proposition or Trump. But given the circumstances right now, as a candidate, I would always say Trump is a better candidate. But whether that converts into victory of Trump, that's another story altogether. Given the fact that a lot of these illegal immigrants now potentially may even vote, and we know on whose side they would vote. Given the fact that there are no proper scrutiny in U.S. elections in terms of anybody can go and vote, they don't even need to show their identity cards in many of the states. So there are issues. But eventually, for Kamala Harris to come up and say that we have done the best thing for United States and the world, well, that will be a very difficult proposition or a thing to sell, because after the COVID-related problems, the world was looking for peace. We didn't have peace. We had huge supply chain-related issues. I'm talking from the perspective of developing countries, whether it is because of the Russia-Ukraine conflict or whether it is because of the conflicts that are right now happening in Middle East. We have severe supply chain challenges. What has United States done to deal with those things, to make the world a better place? Well, I question that. I have my doubts. What they have done in terms of reforming multilateral institutions, that is a question mark. But it is eventually, as I stated, it's up to the people of United States to decide who they want to vote. It may be an even-Steven game, but as a candidate, Trump looks better. Back to you.